How's it going?
Beautiful. Big fight weekend.
Big fight weekend. We've been waiting for 2 months for these names to pop up, for us to pop up in the zeitgeist, you know. UFC 266. There's been a couple last-minute changes that got me spooked. Mainly Nick Diaz calling for the fight to move up a weight class, which is a little more drastic than normal because it's 15. It's, 170 to 185, not a 10-pound thing. So if you're in the game, this means he's having trouble making weight. I saw that his coach, actually not his coach, the man that, the Gracie that he's got his black belt from, put out one of those Snapchat stories or something. It was just a screenshot when I saw it, but it said, no, he did not get injured in camp. No, he did not get knocked out. That's all false. So there's rumors swirling, like, why can't he cut weight? What's going on? But Sunday night, Nick Diaz asked if the fight could be moved to 185 6 days before the fight. And Robbie Lawler's a bad motherfucker. He's like, yeah. He's like, I'll be a little underweight, but I'm quick, and I'll fuck this guy up. So that's exciting. But before we go down that road, let's talk about Saturday night, because Saturday night, I was right again, motherfucker.
Anthony Smith.
Anthony by submission, baby.
Looked good.
First round. I think it took him 3 minutes.
3 minutes into the first round.
And he dropped him like several times, dude.
Yeah, 347 to be exact.
A monster.
Yeah, he looked insane.
He did, man.
He looked great. That's some of the best he's ever looked.
I know. Well, the Jimmy Crute fights gets looked over because it was only 5 minutes and the guy didn't come out of the corner, so there was not an exciting finish to watch. But his jab looked like a fucking, I don't know, whatever you call that thing in an engine, like a piston. It was like scary. And he was fucking Jimmy up.
Oh, bad. There's a reason he didn't come out for the second round.
Yeah, it was leg kicks. It was calf kicks. Mm-hmm. But, Jimmy Crute was supposed to be the future. Now, maybe he still is. But Anthony's supposed to be the past. Anthony had a couple tough losses. He's taken 3, I guess you'd say fighting down, even though these are ranked opponents now. I mean, Jimmy Crute was ranked. Ryan Spann was 11th.
Ranked. Yeah.
Devin Clark was the one that wasn't ranked. But they all have one thing in common. And Anthony finished him quickly. Mm-hmm. I love the guy. My brother loves him. He kind of got me on the train like a year ago. I used to make fun of him because he kind of looks like that guy from the Goonies, the monster. He looks like the monster from the Goonies, okay? But Dalton was at my house. We're watching the fights. And for some reason, Dalton liked Anthony Smith a little bit. And he's like, it'd be so cool, man, if he walked out to, like, Return to the Mac. And right then, it was bam, 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 bam. And he walked out to Return to the Mac. Dalton was jumping up and down like, holy fuck, I can't believe it. And we just got so wired. And then he came out and got slaughtered, and we were sad.
Was that the Rakic fight or the Glover fight?
It was Glover. It was Glover. And after that, the Rakic thing happened, which was even worse. But so he's won 3 in a row, all by finish. He called out Rakic, which is crazy because Rakic made him look bad.
Yeah.
Now, Anthony said, I don't make excuses, man, but, if your mind's not right, your fight life can't be right. And my mind wasn't right. I was in a bad spot. I had a lot going on, and I believe that.
I do, too. Looking at his last performances compared to that one, I mean, he looked like he didn't want to be in there. Simple as that.
For sure. I mean, there's a moment in the Glover fight that we all know about, and Glover's got him flattened out on his belly, and he's sitting on his butt, and he's just punching him in the face. Not quite hard enough to knock him out. Anthony's blocking, so the ref's not stopping it. It's slow-paced because they were both gassed, and there's no fans. This is early on in the no fans, and Glover's going, I'm so sorry, man, in the middle of the fight because he knocked out a bunch of Anthony's teeth and shit. And Anthony's like, just doing your job, man. And it's the most sad, kind of pitiful. I mean, it's heartbreaking, especially if you're a fan of the guy. Now, Glover shouldn't be doing that to Anthony because Glover's 42, past his prime. Well, guess again, motherfucker.
Fighting for a title.
Fighting for the title. So that loss has aged pretty good. If Glover beats Jan, it'll age even better. Mm-hmm. No one doubts that Rakic is a fucking monster. But I loved that he called him out.
I do. I really like that.
He came on the post-fight and said, listen, I've been doing my job fighting down. It's over now. He said, I'm not calling out Rakic because he shouldn't have beat me, or I got one for him now. He's the only option. He's the only guy above me that can fight.
Yep.
And in a really cool moment, Michael Bisping was like, the producers were on it. Someone told Michael in the post-fight interview that Rakic tweeted, "I'm free in December." And Anthony said, "Merry Christmas to me." And it's just like blown up like a cool meme. It's a T-shirt you can buy right now. Like anybody, go order Anthony Smith's new T-shirt. He's not rich like every other guy that's been fighting 15 years. He fucking deserves a little coin.
Yeah, and this dude has fought for everything he's got. He has over 50 pro fights.
52 now, I think.
Yeah, him and Gamebred are the only two that have over 50 pro fights.
Yep. And he fought for the title once against Jones. And if you know anything about the UFC, you know that John Jones has went 11 years without losing a single fucking fight. Him moving up to heavyweight or kind of retiring, whatever it is he's got going on now, the belt's in new hands.
Mm-hmm.
So, Anthony, he has a shot.
Yeah, he
has
a legit shot.
Blachowicz is legit, but so is Ryan Spann. They're both power machines.
Yeah, because if Blachowicz beats Teixeira, I'd say Teixeira's done.
I agree.
I'd say he's done.
I would actually prefer if Teixeira retired in the cage if he won even. I mean,
win
he's
or
42.
lose. Yeah.
He's getting up there.
And then you take him out of the picture, that's one less bad motherfucker at the top.
That's right.
That's right. I'm not saying that Anthony needs an easy road, but
I don't think he does either. I think Anthony could beat any of them, but I think he could lose to any of them too.
Agreed.
I mean, it's the fight game. One shot changes everything. Anthony wasn't looking too bad in the Glover fight for the first few minutes, and just something, I don't even remember what it was, but just the tide turned. It happens. But these 3 young bucks that he just slaughtered, every one of them came at him hard. I mean, none of them were easy fights, but he made it look easy. He would take their backs and just, I don't know, he just dominates them, man. And I'm excited to see him fight. I hate that he's got to fight Rakic first. I wish they were like, that's 3 in a row, and you got a little shine on you. Let's do a title fight. But it is what it is. I hope he beats him.
I hope so, too.
I'm not going to make a pick until closer to time. It's not even signed, but definitely pulling for Anthony.
For sure.
Definitely.
I would love to see him as champion. But
what do you think about the co-main?
That was a beating. I liked everything about it except for the scorecard.
Yeah, the scorecard was a little weird.
All 3 judges, 3 different scores.
3 different scores.
That I hate when that happens.
Yeah, it also happened in the Bellator main event on the same night. We don't talk much Bellator, but it's a problem.
It is.
We're fans. We're the people that get made fun of because we sit on the couch and act like we know more about the sport than referees or this or that, but we do. There's no way. You put me, you, and Trevor Finn watching a fight to score it, and I guarantee you we have similar scores.
Yes.
Even if we're watching it as fans and get kind of lost in moments, these motherfuckers must get bored at the cage and quit paying attention or something because, well, the Romero fight, I mean, I know we're going to dive into this one, but the Romero fight was 30-27, Phil Davis, 30-26, Phil Davis, and 29-28, Yoel Romero. What in the fuck?
That should be impossible.
So one gave a 10-8 round. One gave 2 rounds to Yoel. I'm assuming the round he gave to Phil must have been the one the other guy had a 10-8 on, but I don't know that. It's fucking insane.
It is.
And then the same on this fight.
It's the same. How can one judge have a 30-26 for one guy?
Yeah.
Kutalaba. Another judge has it 29-27.
Yeah, 29-27.
Like, what? So you got one judge had him winning all 3 rounds, plus one of them being a 10-8. And then you had him losing a round. Another judge had him losing.
I see.
I see what happened.
I see. He got a 10-8 on 2 cards.
Yeah.
But on one of those 2 cards, he lost a round.
Yeah, I see what happened.
Yeah.
I know what happened here.
Yeah.
But it shouldn't happen.
It shouldn't happen.
It should have never happened.
But as a super fan, the thing that bothers me the most about that fight is Iwan Kutalaba. I mean, this dude's supposed to be, they call him the Hulk. He's supposed to fucking knock people out. I mean, I've been watching him for 2 years, and I've never seen him knock someone out. I've seen him win this decision. I saw him gas versus Justin Jacoby, win 2 rounds, lose the third 10-8, and get a draw. And we saw Magomed Ankalaev knock him out twice.
Yep.
So, it just shows you. So Anthony Smith is a guy maybe past his prime. Look what he did to Devin Clark.
Oh, for sure.
Now, Iwan Kutalaba fucked him up. I mean, he kneed him in the face at one point, and the guy's bottom 3 teeth were pointed back towards the innards of his mouth. Now, listen, they weren't broken teeth. The gums were torn. He caved his gums in, and the gums were pointing back into his mouth. I mean, he's got power, but he can't fucking finish, and he must have gas tank issues because he fades.
Badly.
Yeah. I was waiting for Devin to sink a sub or something in round 3. I was like, this motherfucker's going to be gassed again because when he thought he had him, he let it go. I mean, he let it go. Just couldn't quite get it done, man. And we haven't seen Ankalaev in a long time. He's the one that's destroying Kutalaba.
Yeah, he's fighting Volkan Ozdemir.
That's right. That's coming up. Coming up.
Next pay-per-view, I think.
Okay.
October 30th one.
I'll be watching for him.
I believe.
I'll be watching for him. We're not going to spend a whole lot of time on this card because of the big fights we want to talk about this weekend, but I fell in love with that Ariana Lipski. I told you she's my new favorite chick fighter. Not just because she's like hot, but she's a fucking savage, dude. She went hard the whole fucking time. She grinds. She's not like getting a push to the top or nothing, and I think she can be something special. She won a UD over a newcomer, but the Mandy Bohm girl that she beat's a bad bitch, dude. I mean, tough lady. But my favorite win of the night was Nate Maness.
Oh, for sure.
He got dominated like in the first round. He got dropped, stuttered with every punch, and they knocked the motherfucker out.
Come out in the next round.
Yeah. I loved it, and it was the final bet on my little 5 pick that paid a couple $100, and when he went down in the first, I was just like, I can't catch a break, man. And when he knocked him out, I was doing jumping jacks, baby. I was jacked.
Yeah, I liked him a lot.
But
and
for
and
one
he's
of those,
pretty local to us too.
That's right. That's right. I even reached out to him, asked him if he'd do an interview on our show. I obviously didn't hear back, but I know he's watching. But okay, let's get on to the good shit, baby. We got UFC 266, the return of Nick Diaz, the people's main event. That's what we're calling that because it's not the main event because of the title fights. But it would be if there weren't a belt on
for sure.
So we already delved into it a little bit, Nick not being able to make weight and moving it up. Now, the not being able to make weight's pure speculation on my point, but it's the only reason it would be moved up.
Yeah.
Why else would you request it? It bothers me because he did a mock weight cut about 6 months ago, no fight. Did a mock training camp and a weight cut, and he posted a picture, chiseled. He made 170 like it was nothing, maybe 171. Mm-hmm. So what happened? I mean, is he getting lost in the mix? Is he doing the press? And, Nick's famous for not wanting to do the press. He don't want to talk.
Yeah, neither Diaz brothers ever wanted to talk.
I'm very anxious to get out of here tonight and see if he did any of the media day because...
Obviously, that's going to be the number one question.
Fuck,
He ain't even going to be fucking sat down yet.
And they're going to be saying...
What's wrong?
It was Robbie's number one question repeatedly, over and over on the few minutes I got to see of that. So listen, all month I've been like very torn on this fight because Robbie Lawler looked like shit the last time we saw him. He fought Neil Magny. Now Neil Magny's a good technical striker, but he's nobody.
He's shouldn't even be in the same caliber as Robbie Lawler.
Robbie should have knocked him out.
Should have knocked his head clean off.
Robbie looked scared to throw. He did not do much at all. At a one point, he was like clinched up against the cage, like taking those baby strikes that I'm sure would hurt a regular fucking person. But for in the cage, it's just like points. And he just kind of stood there, man. And it was like some Tyron Woodley shit, like just scared to throw. And he just did not look good. Now that was, was that like 7-8 months ago?
Yeah, it's been a while.
It's been a while. It might have been last summer even.
I mean, it's been a long time, I know.
Now, he's talking the talk and saying, I'm ready, I had a great camp, da-da-da-da-da. They were asking him how he felt about fighting up at middleweight, and he said, Listen, he was very honest. I liked it. He's like, look, I'm going to be a little undersized, but I'm quick and I'm strong as fuck and I'm ready to go. And I believe him. I'm just very curious about Nick. If Nick's having a bad weight cut or something, his chin might be weak. And I fell in love with Nick Diaz this weekend. I watched, all of his old fights, wins and losses. I had no idea the history this man had of like knocking out Robbie Lawler in '04, but then he, left the UFC and fought in Strikeforce and became a champion and then came back and fought some of the best and he never got the belt, but he got to fight George and he got to fight Silva. And one thing I noticed watching all these fights is he gets dropped almost every fight and grabs an ankle and uses his black belt to like buy some time, and then he knocks these motherfuckers out later. But every time I saw him go down this weekend, I was thinking, holy shit, nowadays that'd have been called right there. It would have. It was a different time. They let guys get pummeled a lot longer 10 years ago than they do now.
Yeah.
And I thought, fuck,
Big time.
if that happens Saturday night, they might call it, and he might do the whole what the fuck, but it won't matter if the fight's over, So I'm nervous about it. I don't have a pick on it. If I had to bet anything on that fight, I would bet under 4.5 rounds.
All week up until today, until you told me that news earlier. Nick Diaz, I had no doubt in my mind. Nothing. Nothing was going to change my mind until I heard that. Now, I'm nervous. I don't know what to do. I'm still going to keep rolling with Nick Diaz. I'm still taking him.
I'm rooting for him hardcore. I might even put a little coin on him. But,
yeah, I'm going to throw a little cash on him.
Definitely not confident about it. I hope he comes out and fucking fucks him up and says, George, where you at?
Yeah, where you at, George?
Yeah, I'd love it all over again, man. But I'd also love him to get the win for other reasons. The big Masvidal super fight. Just the amount of cool fucking fights you can have with a winning Nick Diaz.
Oh, it's endless.
Endless.
It's endless.
170, now maybe even 185. Now maybe he doesn't go back to 170.
Maybe not.
Maybe he gets knocked out bad and never fights again. I don't know. It's been 6 years. You cannot forget he has not fought for 6 years. Got suspended for 5 years for pot, which is a fucking tragedy because it's legal now, and this motherfucker's career was ended over it. Now, that got overturned and dropped to like 18 months suspension, but by the time that happened, he was so fucking fed up, he didn't want to come back. He just wanted to do jujitsu, run his marathons, smoke his weed, and fucking, coach and help his brother. Now, Nate's became the star since then. I mean, it wasn't the case when Nick was still around. Nick was the man, and Nate was the little bubby. Now Nate Diaz is like the biggest star in the sport. I mean, second to Conor. I mean, he's a fucking superstar. What happens if Nick blows back up? Do they clash? Are they best friends and both big draws?
Oh, yeah. They'll both be big draws.
Yeah, they're ride or die. Yeah, they're ride or die.
They'll never turn on one
That's
another.
what I love about it, man. Dalton sent me a GIF the other night after he went to MMA with me Monday night, and it was fucking awesome. He sent me a GIF afterwards. It just so happened to be Nate, and I typed in what I wanted to look up, and there was one of Nick Diaz. I clicked it, and I was like, man, that'd be so cool if that was me and him. A couple bad motherfuckers running around Karma, you know what I mean? I love their whole story. I hope Nick fucks him up. Cool fact, the amount of months, I saw this online, the amount of months it's been since Nick won is 209, which is his number, bro. Before we go to the belts, we can talk a little bit about the fights underneath that. Big heavyweight fight. I don't know their ranks, but those are both top 10 guys.
Yeah. I don't know where Razor Blades is. He was number 2 for a while, then got knocked out and went down to number 4. I don't know. That list is all shaken up so much.
Jairzinho, I don't think's any lower than 6 or 7, right?
No, they're both right there.
So maybe it's a couple top 5 heavyweights for all we know. But you said something to me that Blades is a favorite? Big favorite?
Yeah, big favorite.
That blows my hair back. What's Blades' one weakness?
His chin.
His chin.
Yeah.
What the fuck is Jairzinho Rosenstrike? A kickbox knockout machine.
Yeah, and he's a great counter fighter. I
Yes,
mean, that's
he
how
is.
he fights. He counter fights.
Yep.
And we've watched him have some very, we'll call it lackluster fights, because he sits there and waits on the counter, kind of gets wound up waiting on the counter, and it never happens when he's fighting other strikers.
That's right.
But now he's fighting a wrestler.
A guy that's only going for the takedown.
I mean, it's going to be there.
Yeah. And well,
I
Derek Lewis laid
yeah.
the blueprint. It don't have to be a knee. It can be an uppercut. It can be a low hook. It can be a body hook.
It can be an elbow.
It can be anything.
You just got to catch him.
I'm rolling with Jairzinho, bro. I really feel that he's going to win. He had the tough loss to Ngannou. He had the bad, boring loss to Cyril Gane. And I think he's got a victory since then.
Yeah, he fought Augusto Sakai,
Yes.
which, he's a top 10 guy.
He's a top 10 guy.
But you could tell that when he fought Augusto Sakai, he was going for it a little bit.
Yes,
I mean,
was.
he had a little fire
Yes,
under
he
his
was.
ass.
And now, Augusto Sakai's no joke. I feel like he could be like a Bellator champion or something.
Oh, for sure.
But in the UFC, I mean, I think wherever he's at right now is peak for him. And maybe he'll prove me wrong as that's the cool thing about this sport. Nick Diaz made a comment the other day. He said, I'm 100 fucking times better than I was when I fought Robbie the first time. He's like, all we do is train. You think you just max out at 23 years old? He's right. You get better and better and better and better at everything, whether it's technique, whether it's how to throw power, whether it's your gas tank. Sakai might be a bad motherfucker in 5 years.
Very well could be.
But right now, he's topped out, and Jairzinho showed him, I think Jairzinho is going to knock out Curtis Blades. I don't think it'll be a decision. I don't think it'll go 3 rounds. If Curtis gets on him, wrestle fucks him, lays on him, it could go the distance.
Yeah. I mean, that's going to be the issue here. If Curtis gets him down.
Classic striker versus grappler.
Classic.
So that'll be exciting.
We also have a really interesting women's fight.
Oh, yeah.
Jessica Andrade and Cynthia Calvillo.
Love me some Andrade.
Andrade is a bad bitch.
Mm-hmm. She's so fucking badass, she almost looks like a dude. She is straight fucking muscle, dude. I love her. I don't know a whole lot about Cynthia. You do, I'm sure.
Yeah, I mean, she was supposed to be the next big coming thing when she came in, and kind of ran into a few roadblocks a little bit. Lost a couple fights that weren't really expected for her to lose, and
really
has bounced back and forth a little bit. But she is very good. She fought at 15, I believe, for a long time. Moved up 25.
Okay. And that's where this will be.
Yes, 25.
Yeah.
Which is also where Andrade fought for a long time.
Right.
Which is crazy to think that Andrade fought at 35 at one point in time. Then when the 15 class came out, she dropped all the way down to 15.
Really?
And is now up at 25. Yeah, she has victories in all 3 categories.
I think she probably belongs at 25.
I do too.
She's probably peak physically, the amount of muscle she can carry, the weight she's got to cut. I think she's a fucking savage. I think if the last fight she had doesn't get stuck in her head, she'll come out and crush this gal. Not because Calvillo's not great, just I think Andrade is probably...
She's a little monster.
She's probably the Joseph Benavidez of this women's flyweight division. I think she can beat everybody, but I really believe that.
Yeah. I agree with that.
And I'm definitely thinking she's going to
for sure
take that fight.
No doubt in my mind. She was another one that when I was looking at the card, never once did I have to break it down in my head. I'll take her.
I agree. On the prelims, we've got Marlon.
Rob Divashvili.
Yeah, your guy.
I like this guy.
Dopehead, man. That guy acts like he's on speed when he's out
I don't
there.
know what he's on, but it's crazy.
It's crazy. I don't think we've seen him lose.
No.
This will be very interesting because Marlon Moraes is a perennial number 1 contender. I mean, he's been like number 1 for years up until 2021.
Mm-hmm.
He's taken a couple tough losses. He also got a shady win in there with Jose a while back.
Yeah.
But I'm very curious if Dvalishvili is going to knock him out, win a decision, but I really don't have much faith in Marlon.
No, I'm taking Divashvili all the way. Obviously, I really like him.
Yeah, I know. I really don't think he'll lose.
I'll never forget that when I was sitting on your couch, and he was fighting John Dodson, and I remembered John Dodson. I remembered watching him on Tough. He beat T.J. Dillashaw in the finale. I mean, the dude was good. And at the the beginning of the 3rd round, they come out, and instead of doing, this normal fist bump, they hug. I'm like, oh, that's cool. And then out of nowhere, Divashvili just starts screaming and just yelling profusely and going nuts.
Yeah,
it just
throwing his
starts-
hands
yeah.
out and screaming. I remember
Crazy.
that. I remember that.
Like, I like this guy, and I've liked him ever since.
Yeah, I think he'll win. The fight before that is Dan Hooker. Probably the last one I want to dig in besides the title fights. Dan Hooker's in a tough spot.
Yeah, he is. He's in a must-win situation.
Not only is his career in a tough spot, he's from New Zealand, which is a fucking like 20-hour flight with all the layovers and stuff, and he couldn't get out of the country. So he had to get onto the plane, I think yesterday, cutting weight. He had to start cutting weight on the plane. And he has to get off the plane and go straight to actual cutting weight when you can get in the sauna and shit. Mm-hmm. And it's going to be a tough week for Dan. That mixed with, the tough losses, the Michael Chandler knockout, I just think his back's against the wall. And I will be very shocked if he comes out and gets a big victory. I'm rooting for the guy. He's also fighting a guy whose mom died a couple weeks ago. That was big news. This guy's probably going to be putting on the fight of his life for his fucking mother. And I'm sad for Dan Hooker. I mean, I know it's not fight night, and I hope he comes out in beasts, but
I hope so too.
I don't see it, brother. A lot of other good fighters on the card, definitely. Matthew Semmelsberger, Jalen Turner, Euros Medic. A lot of cool fucking... Oh, Roxanne Modafferi.
She's a pioneer.
The big dogs.
Yeah, let's get to that.
Let's get to the big dogs. Valentina. Goddamn, I think she might be pound for pound one of the best fighters in the UFC, bro.
No doubt about it.
I watched both of the Nunes losses, and god damn it, I just don't think she lost both of them. I don't.
Right. The first one, for sure.
3-rounder, she lost.
It was 29-28.
Yeah, 2-1. Yeah, it happened.
The second fight, man, I could watch that 15 times, and
I have seen it several times.
Yeah, I've watched it a lot.
I don't usually watch...
scratch my head on it every time.
Yeah, I don't usually watch ladies' fights like repeatedly, but Joanna versus Zhang and Valentina versus Nunes too are fights I've probably seen 5 or 6 times each. Mm-hmm. There is no doubt in my mind Valentina won 3-2. Minimum. I don't know what the fuck was going on, but the lady called for it in the cage. In the cage, she said, "What the fuck is this?" She's like, "How are you scoring this? I won this fight. I want this rematch." She was on it right then.
Oh, yeah.
And I really do, man. I think she got fucked. And I think Nunes is at a point in her career where she'll never give it back to her. There will be no trilogy. Nunes knows she lost the second one. And I think Nunes knows she'll lose the third one. And I don't think it'll ever happen. Nunes just pulled from one of these easy fights that she's supposed to be, minus 1,000 on. Lauren Murphy, her opponent's awesome. Great story. You were telling me a little bit this morning about how you didn't know how great her story was. Used to be a junkie and climbed out of the gutter, and now she's a title challenger.
Yeah. Didn't even start training any mixed martial arts till she was 26 years old.
Right. And how old is she now? Do you know?
37, 38, something 37. Like that.
So she's been in it for a while.
Yeah.
This is the last run.
She's from Alaska, too.
Really?
Yeah, she was some Alaskan organization. I don't know what the name of it was, but it was an Alaskan organization. She was a 145-pound champ in that.
No shit.
Yeah, she was a 135-pound champ in Invicta.
So she has won titles.
Yeah, I mean, this isn't anything abnormal being a champion to her.
I did see her on Embedded saying, her and her husband saying, "Listen, the perks of how you get treated during a title fight, like, this is great. I don't ever want to, of course this is great, but I'm focused." And I was glad to see she's getting a little shine, getting the extra perks.
For sure.
Joe, her husband, was going on about, "Listen, we know Valentina's minus 1,500. We know we're supposed to not stand a chance, but we spent this whole camp working on a little something for her." Now, we've heard it all before. Everyone says, "She's never fought anyone like me." And every time, Valentina almost... Andrade. Superstar wrestler. What'd Valentina do?
Out-wrestled
her. Didn't even knock her out on the feet because she wanted to prove her point.
Yep.
The bitch is a killer, dude. She's a fucking killer. And I would love to see a crazy upset just because how cool that is for the sport. But Valentina's gonna slaughter this bitch.
Yeah, I mean, I would love to see the underdog story, but I don't.
Yeah, Valentina.
I don't see it happening.
She's a goddess, bro. She's too good. I mean, she's 32 years old and she's been training MMA for 28 years. That's no shit. Started when she was 4 in Russia, some Khabib shit.
Mm.
And dude, 28 years? She'd be like a 4th degree black belt if she was focusing on one discipline. I mean, yeah, I like Lauren. Wasn't her last win a bit
It was
iffy?
controversial. Yeah,
That bothers me too. JoJo.
Yes,
my girl.
I really did think that she lost. Maybe a draw.
Maybe a draw.
Maybe a draw.
Yeah, maybe a draw.
Because the first round, I felt like JoJo won 10-9.
Mm-hmm.
Lauren came out and dominated round 2. Took her down, beat shit out of her the whole time.
Right.
I could see where the argument was made for a 10-8. I probably would have gave it a 10-8.
Ooh. So you think it should have been a draw?
If I was a
because JoJo
judge,
won that 3rd round.
if I was a judge, I'd have gave it 28-28.
I like that a lot better than what happened. Now, not dogging Lauren because she's not a judge. She went out there and did her job. She lost the 1st round and she climbed back into the fight. Good for her. She got the nod. But I thought round 3 was Calderwood's for sure.
Yeah.
Apparently, they all gave it to Lauren, the 3rd round. And no one gave a 10-8 in the second, or did they? Did they give it 10-8 in the second?
I actually think one judge had it 28-28.
Okay.
So
Okay.
they would have had to have.
So 2 for Lauren and 1 a draw. So I would love to see Calderwood get up there and get a shot. I would love to see that. You know, she's got vicious elbows and great striking. I would love to see her fight Valentina, but I don't think the story would be any different.
No,
You know?
unfortunately, I don't think so either.
If Shevchenko loses Saturday night, it'll be like the story of the year. I mean, it'll be the shocker of the year.
Biggest upset,
It'll
for
be
sure.
nuts, dude. I mean, you know, if Robbie knocks Nick out because of who Nick is, that'll make big waves.
Mm-hmm,
But
for sure.
But Lauren would be the ultimate story, which is, it's just weird. I mean, I don't even want it to happen because she's 37 and she's not going to beat all those other killers, you know? Like, I just want Valentina to win, man. I think she will. I don't think I have anything to worry about. Don't bet it. If you bet it, bet maybe not to go the distance or under 4.5 or
something of that nature. Yeah, I mean, if you're a hardcore gambler looking for the major upset, throw a little money on Lauren. But,
yeah, 10 on Lauren would probably pay $100 or something.
Last time I looked on DraftKings, she was a plus 850.
So that's 10 plays 85?
Yeah.
Yeah. So 100 would pay 8,500 or something. Or 850, don't quote me. Anyways, main event. The fight, dude, we've been waiting on this one since like April.
Yeah, because this should have happened earlier
It
this
should have
year.
happened earlier. COVID held it up for Volk, and then Colby Masvidal, Tough was in the works and got, you know, they I think George didn't want to do it. So they put Ortega and Volkanovski on The Ultimate Fighter, which dragged this out till September. So started watching Tough this year for the first time in years and was totally Team Ortega. I like Brian Ortega. And I've told you several times, as the season went on, he just started rubbing me wrong. It was like you gave a perfect example of a season before with T.J. Dillashaw and Cody Garbrandt, where Cody was the fan favorite and T.J. was the villain. And as the show progressed, people were like, wow, T.J.'s a really nice guy and Cody's kind of a dick.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what happened this year for me. I didn't turn on Brian Ortega. I would still love to see him do well. But he is kind of a snob, like a kind of celebrity snob. And Volk was just so respectful and so good to his team. And, you know, it changed my opinion. It definitely did its job. They put that on there to get the juice flowing. They want you to pick a side and create some hype. And, you know, I hate Volkanovski for what he did to Max, but he didn't do anything. He fought the guy and the judges robbed Max. That is not his fault.
It wasn't his fault.
You know, I think 4 years ago, Volkanovski was an overweight rugby player. I heard him say...
Yeah, like 220 or something.
Yeah, 220. Now he fights at 145. Now, I heard him saying something about today, actually, on the media day, he said, I'm no fucking physically gifted athlete. He said, dude, I'm 5 foot tall. I'm the shortest guy in the division. He's like, I'm not particularly quick. I'm not particularly strong. But hard work fucking pays off. They were asking him why he doesn't like Ortega. He said Ortega's just one of those guys who's naturally good, but he fucking half-asses everything. Shows up late for everything. Fake. Called him fake. He was just saying that, look what hard work did for me. I'm the fucking champion of the world, and I'm not very fast, very strong, very tall. I fucking loved it, dude. Whatever he was saying, it was selling me, man. He's a nice, respectful guy. He's one of those underdog stories. He's not supposed to be champion of the world.
No, when he fought Chad Mendez, that was supposed to be the fight that put Chad Mendez back on the map. That was supposed to propel Chad Mendez back into the scene because he had been out for a while and now he was back and former title challenger, all this stuff. You know, that was supposed to propel him, and then he goes out there and just beats the shit out of him.
Right.
Like, that wasn't supposed to happen.
Yeah. Volk's a good story.
Yeah.
And he's a good guy. And I hate to say it, I've totally changed my opinion. I was rooting for Ortega for 7 months. Now I kind of hope Volk goes out there and beats him. And the Max trilogy happens. And I hope he loses to Max. I'm not a super fan of him. But I won't be devastated if Brian wins. And I won't be shocked. Brian's a fucking monster.
Brian is slick. No doubt about it.
Monster. Jiu-jitsu out of this fucking world, and he's spent the last 2 years of injuries and suspensions or whatever the fuck was going on with him solely focusing on striking.
Mm-hmm.
He fucked the Korean zombie up.
Yeah.
I was at your house that night, and I remember all night, like, nervous to bet on Brian. I was nervous to bet on him. And I think you were telling me, I'm going with Ortega. And
I won $600 that night.
Yeah, I won a little bit, too. I ended up going with him. But you were right. I mean, he was a complete different fucking monster, dude.
You know what just dawned on me about that night, though? You know what I won that $600 on?
No.
Andrade and Ortega.
Andrade and Ortega parlay?
Yeah, two-pick parlay.
Andrade fought?
Caitlin Chukagian.
Okay.
I had her by TKO, by KO or TKO, and she did. And then I had
Brian by finish.
No, by decision.
That's why I didn't win. I had him by finish.
Yeah.
I had him by finish.
I actually had him in two different parlays. That one that paid me like $600.
Fucking
And I had a different one that would have paid me $150 or something that if he would have finished.
Uh-huh.
So I was like, always got to do
that
is
fight
win.
did go the distance.
Yep.
I forget that. I feel like he knocked him out.
He beat the shit out of him the whole
Zombie
time.
would not go down.
Nope.
Yeah, he just looked, you hate to say this, Zombie just didn't look like himself, but I think that's because Brian was rocking his world, because Brian was on another level. Brian is the jiu-jitsu guy.
Mm-hmm.
Keep him on his feet and you'll get him.
And then when he was getting outstruck,
Keep him on his feet and you'll get him. The motherfucker was 10-0 until he fought Max Holloway. The highlight of him fighting Cub.
Yep.
It is fucking, if you've never seen it, Google Swanson Ortega. It's probably an even match on the feet. Cub was definitely winning the first round.
Mm-hmm.
At the very end of the first round, Brian sinks in what was it in the one he didn't get, the buzzer saved him.
Yeah, I don't remember.
It wasn't a
what
guillotine.
No. I don't remember.
Maybe a triangle on the ground or something.
May have been a Darce.
Oh, it might have been a Darce.
Yeah,
it might have been a
wasn't
Darce.
I think it was a Darce.
Well, they come out for round 2, and for some fucking reason, Cub lets Brian back him against the cage, even though Cub's been dominating on the feet. And by God, they're both standing straight up, and somehow Ortega jumps up on his neck, puts the head under his arm, even readjusts the choke. He gets him a little bit, and Cub starts freaking, and then Ortega lets it go.
Readjust.
Lets it go and slides his hand another way. And, man, Cub couldn't get out of there fucking fast enough. That dude is a bad motherfucker.
And he is a big 45er.
Yeah, he is.
He's a big 45er.
And personalities aside, I like watching Brian fight. I want him to win. I think Max Holloway, my favorite 45er, has his number. I'd love Brian to get the belt because Max is just going to get it right back. But because of the Volkanovski, Max has 2 very tight, very controversial losses to the man. I want him to get it from him. Volk all day. What's next? What's next? Well, listen, I'm focused on Brian, but we all know. We all know Max is next. Mm-hmm. As long as he doesn't lose to Yair, if that fight's even happening, Max is next. And I love that about him. Anyone else would be going, well, I beat him twice. This is what Volk was doing last year. Well, I beat him twice. I'm supposed to fight him again? What about the all the other title challengers? He's saying, listen, Max is next. And I like it. Mm-hmm. So I feel like if that Yair fight falls through, it already has once.
Yeah, it already has
I need that fight to fall through because Max should not be fighting that low. Yair Rodriguez, fuck, I've been a super fan for 28 months. Never seen him fight. He don't fight. He does not deserve a number one contender fight. I'm sorry. And Max should not put it all on the line because anything can fucking happen in a fight. Max could slip up, just get caught just wrong. He shouldn't risk it. Buddy, you've already been out on the 6 months. This fight's happening Saturday night. Just wait and see who wins. Sign a deal Monday morning.
Yeah,
fuck Yair.
After Max's fight with Calvin Kattar, how can you deny it?
Can't.
There's no way. There's no way to deny it.
Can't do it. Set records for strikes.
Yeah.
Maybe not in 45. Maybe every division.
Yeah, I think that was a UFC record.
It was like over 500 strikes thrown, and he landed like 80% of them. Do the math. I mean, it was like over 300 landed strikes. He put on the performance of a lifetime, dude. We talked about it once before, but he was looking at the fucking commentators with his hands behind his back in the middle of the fucking fight, going, I'm the best boxer in the UFC. And the dude was swinging at him, and he was like Matrix, just dodging every one of them. It was fucking unbelievable. It was unbelievable. How does he not get a belt? I mean, how does he not get a title fight off of that? I hope Volk wins, man. I hope Max fucks him up in 6 months. Either way, we're waiting 6 months.
Oh, yeah. Hopefully, no one breaks a bone or anything like that.
Definitely.
Puts it out
no
even
injuries.
longer.
God forbid, no injuries. We don't want any injuries. Okay. Well, we got a little bit of news real quick. Sugar Sean took a fight.
Finally.
We love talking about Sugar Sean. He's fighting Brian Boom Kelleher, who is a submission specialist. And he bangs on the feet.
He bangs.
He bangs on the feet.
Yeah, I like it.
I can't believe he took it. You know, I've been dogging him for dodging the tough fights. Mm-hmm. I like this. That's happening December 11th, so it's not like it's forever away.
That December 11th card's getting stacked.
Man, it's getting stacked. There was another deal. We talked a little bit about this new fight organization, which, you know, I'm always going to be a UFC dude, but hopefully this is good for our fighters in the UFC. If this, you know, if guys are going to leave and go there for the money, maybe UFC. Oh, they don't have to give everybody raises. Just up the share percentage. Mm-hmm. Right now they're getting 16%. We talked numbers last week. Give them 30. They'll be like, holy fuck, that's double, and you're still fucking their eyes out compared to every other sport. Do it before they all go to the World Fight League, which it does have a pretty cool logo. I mean, maybe it'll be something. Maybe it'll be another Bellator. I don't know, but and last thing I got is Adesanya Whitaker, January, baby.
Good.
It got a date, UFC 270.
Good deal.
You remember last January? Last January, we had a couple weeks off there around Christmas that killed me because I was so obsessed. And then we had the Big Max fight we've been talking about. Yeah. We had Conor Dustin 1. We had a Wednesday card. It was a good month. And it was on ABC, which was brand new. Adesanya Whitaker.
It'll be huge.
It's going to be huge. I might even pay for that one. You know what I mean? I might even pay for that one.
Yeah. Carlos Condit retired.
Oh, Carlos retired.
Which sucks. I always really liked him, but
that bums me out, man. There was another one. Joe B.
Joe B. I talked about him last week. He
retired. Right.
And Carlos Condit retired.
Yeah, the news of Carlos happened the day after. Well, the Whitaker Adesanya got announced right after we recorded, and I said, God damn it. Yeah. Right after we recorded. And
I think Carlos Condit was the day after.
Yeah, it was the next like noon the next day. Mm-hmm. And it bummed me out a little bit because I remember texting you saying, I wonder if the UFC is saying, hey, we're done, and letting some of these older stars save face and retire.
Yeah.
But I saw an interview with Carlos on Monday. It just wasn't the case. I don't know the result of his last fight. I thought you said he won.
I can't remember.
But he said that he did everything right. He trained hard, same as always, and he just felt a step behind his opponent the entire fight. He said there's just no getting around it, man. It's just time. So I don't think the UFC's forcing him out. They're giving so many fucking contracts on Contender Series. The roster was 500 a year ago. Now it's over 700. We've saw, 20 superstar old guys retire in the last year.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, most guys are going to other, even other sports, but definitely like Bellator and PFLs. I mean, Showtime's gone and Overeem's gone. And we've seen it happening. They're filling it up with a bunch of young bucks, which I like. I like the young killers. But I still want my Conor McGregors, man. I still want my Stipe's and my DCs. I want all that cool shit. I like them. I just don't know why there's got to be a limit on roster size, That kind of bums me out. But Moreno Figueiredo, did we announce that last week?
I don't think
That's
so.
also on the December 11th card. Yeah, Moreno Figueiredo 3. That's on December 11th, UFC 269. Moreno's up 1. Oh, yeah, 1 win, no loss, and a draw.
Mm-hmm.
And Figueiredo's
Got
0-1.
the draw. Yeah.
I saw a little bit of Game Bread calling out Leon, saying, like, let's do it. Let's do it. Let's fucking do it. Well, they had the big controversy backstage where three-piece and a soda, baby. George fucking fucked him up, man. George Masvidal's given just a post-fight interview. Leon and his crew are talking shit from 20 feet away. And George just walks up with his hands behind his back and says, say it to my face, and just starts socking the motherfucker. This fight should have happened the next month after that. I mean, let's be real. But Leon's denying it. Leon's saying, I'm fighting for the belt, Well, no one said that, buddy. We love you, Leon. We root for you. You're a technical beast. You're good at your job. But goddamn it, you are not fighting for the belt next. Not that I know of, I mean. But Wonder Boy jumped in to George and said, if Leon won't fight, I'd love to step in and run it back. They fought once before.
Yeah.
And Wonder Boy
won. A
decision.
Mm-hmm.
And he even acknowledged, we all know Masvidal 2.0 is a different animal, and he hashtagged super respectfully, which is funny because George is super necessary. I'd watch it. I'd love Wonder Boy to get a big fight. He doesn't do much for me, but he's super nice. It's hard not to root for that guy.
I'd love to see him get a big fight, get a nice payday, and then...
Yep. Yeah, I agree.
He's probably not too far from fading out, I'd say.
Yeah, probably so.
I know he's 39. He had worked himself back up into the big fight with Gilbert and lost.
Yeah. The Gilbert fight was sad. I said it for the whole month. Gilbert was going to win, and that night it came down to it. I let you fuckers talk me into just... You didn't tell me to bet on Wonder Boy, but you are also confident that I stuck Wonder Boy on all my bets, and god damn it, Gilbert got him. I didn't see it by decision, though. I thought Gilbert would submit him, but I'm excited to see what's next for Gilbert, too. I mean, the Usman loss breaks my heart. If you don't know, Kamaru is an unstoppable knockout machine at 170 pounds, and Gilbert dropped his ass in the first round back in February. Dropped him and froze. Didn't fall down on him. Didn't let him back up. He kicked his leg and took those point shots long enough for Usman to wake back up. And Usman fucked him up for about 2 rounds, and then it was over. I think it ended in round 3. It was devastating. It broke my heart when it happened, and I would love Gilbert to climb back up. But, yeah, dude, I'm excited for Saturday night. I'm glad you're coming.
Saturday's going to be one of the best cards we've seen in a long time.
We didn't talk much about the undercard, but the whole card's awesome.
It's loaded from start to finish.
It'll be a good time.
Yeah.
Saturday night, man. Order it. Watch it. But that's all I got, buddy.
Yeah, that's about all I got.
All right, I'll see you next Wednesday.
All right.